You are now rocking with the Cool Cats and me, the D.E.V. Coming up, I always thought that dogs and cats were enemies, opposite ends of the spectrum, like east and west, north and south, salt and pepper, yin and yang. Well, y'all get the point. And that can be the case. But dogs and cats can also be the best of friends. The key to this relationship being successful most of the time lies with the dog. Let's just be honest. A dog could hurt a cat in most situations, but you got to be careful putting it together. So let's discuss that. Now, there's a couple successful ways that this can be done. It all has to do with the introduction. Who is there first? Who's on first? So if you have an adult cat or cats, right? Then the best way to introduce a dog into your family is to introduce a puppy. Okay? Why? Because most dogs are territorial. So if a puppy is fresh, is learning, his mind is not set, it doesn't have a territory. It will develop territorial, it will develop a territory in your house. But if it grows up thinking that the cats are part of that territory or part of the family, then, that's how that can be successful. So having a cat and bringing a puppy in is one of the best ways that you can start this relationship. Now, another way that this relationship can be successful is if you have a dog already and you bringing in a cat, you want to bring in a kitten, okay, instead of bringing in an adult cat. And the reason that is because, animals have instinct. Even a dog can recognize that this is a baby. And so they will be more accepting of them. Now, this depends on the breed of dog. And I'm going to go more into that quite a bit here in a few minutes. But in terms of how these relationships can be successful, another way, again, is if you have that dog already, 9 times out of 10, you don't want to bring an adult cat into a dog that already has established territory in your home. Now, you gotta, again, this is out of the three I'm gonna mention, and this is the second one. This is the most dicey. It is not the most successful way, but it can work depending on the circumstances. Hey, what's up, family? If you are enjoying the content, make sure that you hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you don't miss any future content. Now, another way that this relationship can be successful between a dog and a cat, or dogs and cats, and this is really the ideal way, is that you get a puppy and a kitten at the same time. Just think about that. You got these two little goofy babies running around. Neither one of them know anything. So they grow up together. They like brother and sister. And that's definitely the best way, for dogs and cats to live in the same household. If they come in together, as babies. Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago that one of the key things to dogs and cats living harmoniously together has a lot to do with the dog. The introduction is a big part, but the biggest part of this is the breed of dog. And I can't stress this enough. As a cat lover and an animal lover, don't you listen, folks. Dogs and cats can be the best of friends, but it can also be a very, very dangerous situation unless you do your research and you bring these animals together properly. Okay? So the breed of dog is absolutely the most important factor in this equation. Okay? So do your research. We live in a generation now where research and Google is at the tip of your fingers. So just research it. If you have cats, make sure that you research dogs. If you have a dog that you like, make sure that you just look up Cocker Spaniels and cats? Or do Cocker Spaniels get along with cats? Or can German Shepherds live with cats? Just Google it. It'll come up right there. But the worst thing I see people do is have cats and they get a dog just because they like the dog, thinking, oh, that'll be okay. A dog can kill a cat. Okay, this is not a game. If you love your cat, the worst thing you can do is bring a dog in there and not do your research. Okay, so that's big. Now, in terms of breeds, uh, there are, I don't want to say small and big dogs, because that's not it. So scratch that. But what I would say is that generally speaking, dogs that are guard dogs or have a protective nature are little boy. Do you hear me trying to do a video? Do you care? See what I mean? See what I did with? Now, what was I saying? So, dogs that are guard dogs, they have that protective nature. So they're going to defend the home. You got to be very careful bringing cats in with these type of dogs. Or even if the cat was there first and everything I said about bringing a dog in as a puppy and all that, that's true on a lot of occasions, but it depends on the breed. Okay, I give you I'll give you an example. So I'm in the guard dogs. I used to breed guard dogs. I'll be getting some more dogs here soon. I'll go into that in a minute because y'all know I love dogs. But uh, doing my research, because I have the Cool Cats here, right? So I got to be very careful about bringing what guard dogs that I can bring into my home with these cats. One of the dogs that I love is an Akita, right? And so an Akita is an amazing guard dog. I love it. It fits what I like. But their personality, that particular guard dog has an independent streak, which means that regardless of how they were raised, they have a prey drive, okay, that they think on their own. So the dog can be raised with cats. It could be 3 years old, and that prey drive kicks in, and it could kill your cat. just because of that independent streak in that particular dog. So uh, they are not good with cats. Now, that's a dog by dog, on a dog by dog basis. Okay, so some of those dogs, depending on the dog, if they again were brought in as a puppy, were raised with the cats, they could be fine with the cats. But you're rolling the dice. You're taking a big risk. And of course, that's not something you should do. It's not something I'm willing to do as much as I love an Akita. Now, let me give you a different example. Another dog that I love is an alibi. Now, I really wanted to, this was down to my last two dogs that I decided on. An alibi was in my final two. And I still may wind up getting an alibi when the time rolls around. But now, now these dogs, this dog is 220 pounds, the male, okay? The best guard dog in the world, okay? I mean, the best. But they independent, they think independently. Now, the reason I bring this dog up in contrast to the Akita is they're independent thinking too, all right? However, this dog, if raised with cats, they don't have that streak. They independent, but that means they make decisions defending your property and all that independently. They won't attack the cats though if they're raised with them from a puppy. The reason I don't want that dog, I'm shaky on that dog, just the laws in most states. A dog that thinks independently, if you not home or somebody break in your house or your yard and that dog kills that person, you could be held liable. And listen, I want a dog that has that capacity or that capability. But if they think independently, how do you get the dog off that person? How do you stop them? You know what I mean? So I'd rather have a dog I have some control over, but that's another conversation. So going on with dog breeds, and I'm just trying to give y'all some examples here. There are a lot of smaller dogs that you think, oh, they smaller, they would be good with cats. Not necessarily. It depends on the breed. Another breed this smaller that is not good with cats are most terriers. Okay, terriers have a strong prey drive. Okay, so raised from a puppy, brought in as an adult, it don't matter. Terriers and cats do not mix. A terrier will chase your cat, stress them out. Depending on the size of the terrier, like a bull terrier could kill your cat. And so and again, this is somebody who researches a lot, who's a dog and cat person. And so terriers you don't really want to have with your cats. So this is just to give you guys some examples that, you really want to do your research to figure out if you have cats already, like probably most of you on this channel, and you want to bring a dog in, these are the kind of things you got to understand. Now, another thing to consider when bringing a dog or cat in, or having them both together, is the same thing as you need to determine if you're gonna have just multiple cats or multiple dogs, is the expense of it all. Okay, bringing animals into your home because we love them and we want to take care of them is a great thing. but you can never uh, minimize that they cost money. So before you bring these animals together, make sure that you can afford the food, the medical bills. If you travel, can you house them or provide for people to come in to watch them? Um, Another thing, especially with dogs now, cat lovers, not so much if you just have cats. But if you have dogs, if you have cats and you're thinking about bringing a dog in, dogs need exercise. Again, back to research. One thing it bothers me so much to see is people get dogs that need 2-3 hours of exercise a day, and they just keep them in the house. The dogs are gonna be miserable. Okay, and so these are just things, if you're going to have animals, that before you bring them into your home, and you're responsible for their lives, because that's what you are. You're responsible for their lives, and the animals should be happy and be able to flourish. You got to think of these things beforehand. Now, for my personal situation, we are the Cool Cats crew. But some of y'all, if you've been with me for a while, you tired of hearing me saying it. If you're new because of this new series we doing, you may not know, but I grew up as a dog person. I had dogs all my life. I used to breed dogs, guard dogs. I used to breed American bulldogs. I had one of the top male American bulldogs on the East Coast for breeding, and so I'm a dog guy. I got Batman and Robin originally because as a financial analyst for 30 years, when I had my offices open, I was doing some traveling back and forth when I had an office in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I moved back to Maryland and opened an office there. I was in an apartment. I wanted to get a dog, but because of the big dogs I like, and again, me knowing the temperament of the dog, I couldn't get those dogs while I was in that situation. So while I was in Indiana, however, I was thinking I really wanted to get dogs when I went back home to Maryland. So anyway, I researched and found certain cats that were like dogs, and the Devon Rex breed, which Batman and Robin are cats that behave like dogs. So that's how I wound up. I wound up with cats and really engulfing my life into these animals, and why you see me in front of you today. But I will be getting some dogs. Now, I've moved to North Carolina. Um, I sold my company, and I moved to North Carolina. The transition was a terrible time because when I moved to North Carolina, one of my main reasons was to come here, buy a piece of property on a half an acre of land, and get me some dogs, maybe breed again, maybe not. But that's what I wanted to do. Well, about 4 or 5 months after moving here, the economy, we all know what's going on with the housing market. It's one of the worst housing markets in history. And so again, as a financial analyst, as bad as I want to buy a house right now, it's a terrible investment. So intellectually, it would not be a wise thing to do right now. I'm working on it, guys. So I will be getting some dogs here in the near future to add to our family and add to your experience. When we do that, we will expand the channel. Okay, and we will, and one of the big reasons I'm making this video to, because I love dogs and cats, okay, and to just talk about it a little more, put it out there. We will be able to bring our life experiences and all of that to you guys. For those of you out there who like dogs and cats and have dogs and cats, and just in case you wondered, and in case you don't know, the dogs we will be getting when we get through this situation of the economy and we get that property, okay, in the near future, is the South African Bourbons. Look it up. See y'all in a few. So remember to treat your animals well. They didn't ask to be there with you, but now all they have is you. Treat them like family, fam.